Hey guys, Beyz here, and I think I'm finally over that cold, so here to bring you a new list. Now, I don't say top 10 list because I'm doing a couple of things differently in this one. First of all, this will only be a top 5. Now, before you complain in the comments and, doing what internet does, let me explain. So this is the top 5 worst Beyblade Burst Beys. Now that's another thing that's a little bit different, is this is a top worst list. Now the reason I'm only doing 5 is because, guys, this list was really hard to make. I love just about all Beys. There are a couple on this list that really get on my nerves, but this was difficult. I had a really hard time choosing, and I would have never been able to choose 10. So I skimmed the list down to 5. Now, before we get into the actual video, I have a couple announcements. Please don't skip this part. This is really important, especially for your people who are regulars on my channel. So there's just a couple announcements of changes coming to the channel, and you need to know this. The first one is kind of sad, and it has to deal with my AMVs. Unfortunately, I will no longer be making them. So, while I personally love making AMVs, and they are literally some of my most popular videos, recently, all my AMVs I've been making have been blocked. Even though I do the same thing I do on all of my others that have not been blocked. It's just getting really frustrating, and I'm putting all that work into making them for basically nothing. So that's kind of sad. So my second announcement is on a bit of a happier note. As soon as I can get a better lighting situation, I'll have a new series coming out onto my channel. Call it Beys Bay Hacks. And it may not look like much, but I actually put quite a bit of work into that title picture. I'm really glad I'm taking a Photoshop class in school. Just so you know, a lot of these images I have, like this background image I did all that myself on Photoshop. But my channel icon, as I mentioned before, was made by the fellow YouTuber Beys for Bros. Anyway, with the announcement out of the way, let's get into the actual video. As usual, before we start, this is my opinion and should not be taken as fact. And I will only be using original stock combos, which means no custom combos and no recolors. And then, so I've had a lot of difficulty putting a link to the playlist. For a lot of times they'll just take you to the first video of the playlist, but it's not actually in the playlist. So I'm just switching to, you can either wait till the end of the video, it'll show up as an end card, or you can just go straight to my channel and find the playlist of all of my top 10s. Or in this case, top 5. Anyway, so let's get into the first one. At number 5 is Shelter Regulus 5-Star Tower. Some of the main reasons why it's on this list. Because it's really easy to burst. It doesn't have very good teeth. It's hard to get. You can only get it as a prize in Random Booster Volume 8, I believe. Yeah, because this came out before Beat Kokoken, and Beat Kokoken was Volume 9. What was it, Volume 10? Anyway, that's beside the point. Yeah, it was Volume 9. And the driver gimmick doesn't really do much for it. It makes it a little bit taller when it loses spin. But the reason it's so high on this list is because, one, I think the layer is just beautiful. I love the colors, the designs. Just something about this that looks so nice to me. If you know me, then you know my favorite color is blue. So that's probably one of the reasons. And overall, it's not a terrible bay. It's just not very good. So next at number 4 is Inferno Ifrit Magnum Liner. So this bay is really on this list because of the driver. The driver is incredibly unique and frankly quite odd. So if you don't know, I don't actually have a picture of it, but the driver basically has a wheel in it that's vertical and free spinning. I don't really see what the point is, but whatever, it doesn't really seem to do much. And the layer and disc seem to be more like attack type parts. I mean, just look at the layer, it's so jagged and spiky like an attack layer. And it's thin and light. And then also, you don't really hear a lot about this bay. Like, it's never appeared in the anime. You don't really see people doing battles with it. Just Inferno Ether goes mostly unheard of. Which is the exact opposite of the next one on our list, which may surprise a few of you, but I've expressed my opinion on this before, and I will reiterate those opinions. Number 3 is Victory Valkyrie. I'm sure a lot of you just had your jaws drop to the floor. Oh wait, why does that say 5? Sorry. Typo! Anyway, number 3 is the Victory Valkyrie Boost variable. Now, it's your typical attack type. It's got low stamina, a lot of speed. I hate the driver. I strongly despise the variable driver. First off, the point of the variable driver is to have it break. I don't want it to break. And, I like being able to get used to a bay, used to which specific way you have to launch it to get it to perform it at its best. With the variable driver, you can't really do that because the more you battle with it, the more its performance changes. And it can actually be quite annoying. And the driver isn't the only bad part about this bay. I've seen a lot of people have the wings, or blades, if you want to call them, sticking out of Valkyrie. I've seen a lot of people have them break off. They're not supported very well, and it's easily damaged. Now, on a more positive note, I like the design. It is the main character's bay. But I just can't ignore the things I don't like about it. And that's what puts it at number 3. Alright, moving on to number 2. It's a bay that I think is pretty universally hated. And it's Evil Eye Wing Needle. All throughout, just a terrible bay. First off, it's a defense type. But it has an attack type disc. Why? Why would a defense type have an attack type disc? And then you have the needle driver, which people don't really like. I could be wrong, but I doubt the needle driver has seen any play in tournaments. And worst of all is that this terrible bay is the prize bay in a random booster. The prize. And I think the worst part about that is if you actually want this bay, you have a very low chance of actually getting it. Which for me is not a big problem because I don't want it. Anyway, let's move on to the number 1. I'm sure a lot of you may or may not have seen this coming. The number 1 worst Beyblade Burst Bay is Deep Chaos. 4-flow bearing. Where to begin? So, let's start with the driver. This bay was so hyped up. It's the Phantom Orion of Burst. People are so excited to get the bearing driver. And then we found out that the bearing driver makes it really, really, really easy to burst. Like, I've literally seen it, Deep Chaos burst in 1 hit. And not even a hard hit. It's so disappointing. And the driver's not the only bad part. The disc and frame are fine, but the layer gimmick doesn't really do anything for it. If you don't know, the layer gimmick is the white part around the layer can be pushed down on springs. That might help it absorb a little bit of attacks, but even so, it's useless when one hit is all you need to burst this thing. I don't know, I don't think I would hate it as much if it wasn't as overhyped as it was. I mean, when this was first leaked, people were so excited to get the bearing driver. It's very disappointing. And that's what put it as the worst Beyblade Burst Bey. So, thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like the video, subscribe to my channel, and comment what you thought below. Do you agree with my list? Do you not? Heck, if you want to, you can even put your own list in the in the comment section. And, with that out of the way, thank you for watching. I will see you next time.